Audio Jungle.
Is bringing therapies, technology, like vaccines. The scientist work is not doable if they do not collaborate. And collaboration and strategic partnerships, they are key because together they can actually provide the solution to help patients better life, like life saving to the patients. They can solve the health challenges. So our scientists do collaborate. Another aspect from QIMR Berghofer is we also have facilities. We have cell and gene therapy facility, which is 25-year-old, and they do cell therapies across from biotech companies and academic projects. So the collaboration is we do work with other organizations like India, countries. They can bring the project here if they wanna do TGA approved and first in human trial, we facilitate that. Our scientists also work with the hospital and health network. So Queensland is the second largest state. And like when you think about Cairns, if you drive, it is 30-hour driving distance. You fly, it's 2 hours. That means we also need to access the patients there. So we are within the largest hospital precinct, but we work with 16 hospital and health network across the state. And then that's why the clinician and patient access is easy for us. From QIMR Berghofer, we also supply under clinical trial, unapproved therapy to 13 hospitals, and 65% of the patients are still alive. So this is an opportunity for us, like from QIMR to India. What we can say is the scale, you have the scale, you have the speed. But in Queensland, you look at the table, 8 or 6 companies sitting here. Queensland is end-to-end, it's triple helix partnership, government, industry, and academia working together. So that whole life sciences community together, there is a huge collaboration opportunity with India, and we would like to foster that. Thank you.
In the sense that, the India's scale and speed with the innovation that we bring as part of this delegation is complementary. We are not competing, we are providing complementary, capabilities. And the government support is there that shows in our 3rd year of participation. We hope to continue this engagement for the longer term. So with that, I would like to conclude from my end and take any questions you may have from these experts sitting here on the table or from me. Thank you.
Much time. Actually, Munish said that we are the largest exporters to India, the coal and the number of resources, but we are also largest exporter of chickpea from our state. We developed a special chickpea drought resistant in my previous university. We are largest exports of chickpeas to India too. Coming back to a question, as Munish already mentioned, I spent 30 years of my life in India and another 30 plus years of life outside India, many countries, last 31 years in Australia. So my main role was mainly to develop an educational partnership between Australia and India, and also then translate that to actual critical skill development in many areas. What we do is we not only, but first of all, in my university, there were about 1,000 students from India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, and also a few other countries. India is number 1 number of students. In the past, it used to be China, but India is number 1 in our university. The reason is we do a lot of the programs. What we develop is immediately relevant for the skill development and for employment opportunities. We did partner with many universities like VIT University Vellore, Chennai, and SRM University in Chennai, and PhD College of Technology, Coimbatore, Alliance University in Bangalore. We have a lot of partnerships. What we do is we develop a joint PhD credential program where students doesn't have to spend full time with us, They spend 2 years in the host university, 2 years with us. When they are with us, we pay them full scholarship and also living allowance. Similarly, we are developing a dual degree system where double award university, for example, we did a master's degree with VIT. What happens is they study 2 years here, 2 years with us. By end of the year, they get double degree, 1 degree from us, 1 degree from them. There are a number of, some of them need Ministry of Education approvals. But coming back, mainly Indian students come to masters and PhD programs, very small number for undergrad students. And we also develop a lot of macro credentials. The reason is, you look at the pharma industry in Hyderabad, it is the one of the largest, probably highest, 1/3 of the generic drug manufacturing and vaccine manufacturing happens in Hyderabad. This is a vision of one of the previous premiers or Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, which about 20 years ago. Today we are seeing the fruits last 3 years. I go to IO International in America, but always we refer to this place, Hyderabad. People know Hyderabad is the city of information technology, but this city of Genome Valley is very, very popular across the globe in vaccines. So coming back is, what we do is we develop the programs to fix skill development. One of the newest initiative, we are the first university in Australia connecting to our polytechnic students that do 3 years of the grade 10, and they have limited opportunities to upskill their education in engineering schools. I'm working with all the Department of Technical Education in the Indian government, including Telangana government and AP. Our purpose is mainly to open a window of opportunities for polytechnic graduates to study engineering and science and other programs. And also we are articulating directly to our master's programs as well, course for masters. I can keep on talking, I'll stop here. But what I can say is, there are a lot of things we're doing. Our immediate focus will be skill development, make sure our graduates get generic skills, generic capability required by industry today, tomorrow, in next 5 years' time. Thereby their employability will be perfect. Anyway, we're not training for Australia, we're not training for India, we're training for global demands of the world. Thank you.
I would like to hold the mic for another question. You said you'd be working for the next 5 years, bridging the kind of skill gap. My question is to Dr. Su. What, according to you, are the emerging skill gaps that need to be filled via clinical trials training?
In terms of skills gap, I do see that the advance in AI being the number one trendy topic that's on everybody's lips. And to be honest, technology, digital adoption, all of these have literally been around for a long time. It's just about how do we implement it. To me, that is the biggest gap that we should discuss. Beyond the skills and beyond the training, we really want to shift the discussion towards how is that going to be operationalized? Because having head knowledge is one thing, but understanding how to translate that and apply that knowledge, that head knowledge or theoretical knowledge, into actual on-the-job functions that will produce an outcome, there's a great divide. And that to me is the biggest risk that's going to be, well, it was hidden, but we want to bring that to the forefront. The second gap, and I don't see that as a skills gap, with this discussion between collaborations between Australia or Queensland and India or any other countries for that matter, is actually that cross-border collaboration bring forth a lot of cultural differences. And how do we actually manage those variabilities, those differences in a way that is respectful, that is mutually beneficial for both nations? And that is going to be one of the factors that I think will lead the discussion, simply because, as we can see, the intent is there. We want to collaborate, but how do we actually make it happen? And as Manish mentioned earlier, it's a long-term process, and we need to develop trust, we need to build relationships. But on top of that, we need to
work together to standardize many of these aspects that we talk about. You know, it's purely conceptual at the moment. It's a concept that we're talking about. And these are the things that needs to be operationalized on the ground to be able to make it a productive, ongoing, sustainable collaboration moving forward. So that's, to me, are the two biggest aspects beyond just digital adoption. There's cell gene therapy, complexity of clinical trials with regulatory update, all of that is there. But to me, it's really about the understanding what's underpinning all of those discussions, what's at risk here, right? Because everything that we do in health and life sciences is for the patients, for the public good. And we need to make sure that whatever that we bring on board, whatever that we implement, need to have that end result. Patient safety. Is it good for the public? Is it going to be safe for the public? It's not just about let's implement and put in this new technology without any understanding of what's the risk that's going to be hidden because we don't understand the technology well yet. We don't know how to implement it properly yet. So these are the risks that I see that's beyond just skills.
I will continue very briefly. There is a knowledge gap, skill gap in some areas because somebody did a biotech engineering, and when they studied 5 years ago, technology was different, knowledge was different. What required today is very different. What required next 5 years is different. We were working with a lot of companies to develop 2 ways. We are already developing a micro-credential programs. They are non-award program. They could be between 2 weeks to 4 weeks. So we will capture, for example, an engineer wanted to learn something about drug discovery, drug delivery. Then related program, we develop a certificate programs. Also we do accreditation certification programs for skill. Those are the things we're developing as universities in partnering with all the research institutes. And as I mentioned, what we are doing is not for one country. We deliver those things we deliver online. The students staying in Sri Lanka a year and can do those programs in the world even. That's some things we are doing. Second thing we are doing is industry co-op programs. We successfully did in Australia, but India we try. Companies like Origin, companies like Indian Immunological Limited, what they were doing is they were using the technique of retaining staff, sponsoring them for higher education, masters or PhDs to retain them for a longer time. So we are trying to work with them, develop some skill gap, addressing issues at senior management for only 1 week program than a longer program. I'll stop here. So a lot of things happening here.
Then pharma.
My previous speakers clearly articulated we are complementing. For example, Australia is very good in knowledge discovery, technology development, and clear good practices of clinical trials, and also addressing the issues, understanding between the two teams. That is our strength. Whereas the Indian pharma industry strength is scalability, diversity of patients, good GMP, good manufacturing practices, a lot of things. All the things put together, we are able to develop an innovative ecosystem to support biotech for next 5 years. I mean, in the last 5 to 6 years, the bilateral relationship between Australia and India is at its best position. I was there for 31 years, but I could see last 6-7 years, maybe max 10 years, doing so well. And given the current global issues with other countries, I don't want to name, Australia has very good position, is friend to everybody, similarly working very well with India. So those are the areas actually we can really develop. And our friends State and Investment Queensland and Australia are playing big role in connecting us, both the industries and education institutes and research centers across both countries.
Yeah, I mean, I can add a perspective from my field, which is vaccine and biologics. So what we in particular can offer is new platform technology development. we are working on essentially redefining vaccination from the ground up. The last, particularly if you look at tuberculosis, we had 104 years we had BCG, and it's been good. It has helped prevent a lot of children from dying globally, but we still have a vaccine that actually stops tuberculosis being a pandemic. In 100 years, we have tried everything globally, including mRNA, including DNA, and yet we still haven't got a new vaccine. So what we are trying to do now is also coming up with entirely new platforms that are potentially not even being used in India at the moment, and then transferring this technology to potential partners here. We had some discussion today, for example, with some of your vaccine leaders that are based in Hyderabad, to then potentially roll them out on a global scale. So that's one thing that we can definitely offer from our end.
Just 1 minute. From QM Barghofer, our scientists are actually working in India, so do the triple negative breast cancer technology. So that's really happening. It's commercial in confidence. But also at the same time, everybody is talking about AI and machine learning. So at QIMR, again, it's collaboration. The scientists have a center called NC-STAR, so National Center for Spatial Technology and AI for Recognition. What they are trying to do is a group of scientists with a lot of industry and other universities, they are working together. They are developing a technology where before patient gets any treatment, they will diagnose whether that treatment will work or not. So they take the skin sample and they're basically looking at all this, and then that also genetically enabled as well. So they are, so if imagine that technology in market, and I'm sure other people will do that. But that one is more, we always think about triple PR, like plan, prepare, and and then you basically go for response, right? So that is more about their planning, they're preparing, they want to prevent before the disease hits. So there's a lot of technology happening, and as I say, there's a lot of collaboration opportunity as well.
Maybe we'll quickly have a perspective from Griffith, and then we can probably conclude.
I think just to add to all the other conversations is this BioAsia platform has given an opportunity to know what's happening in India and vice versa for India to know what's happening within Queensland and Australia within our organizations. And it's a two-way knowledge exchange that's really happening, that's positioning us to recalibrate where we can collaborate, not just academia, industry, and also on the clinical side with hospitals and foundations, that which has not happened or is happening on a smaller scale, but it's not widely publicized or people are aware of it. And the more we know about what each country can do together, I think we can take that development much faster and quicker. And I think this conference has given us with that platform to engage on the ground level with a number of these organizations whom we would not have otherwise met or be heard of. So that's been a good opportunity for us. Thank you.
So I have a question.
I guess the affordability and the scalability, that's really your strengths, I have to say. I don't think that's something that we can deliver. I think that's really where we would seek partnership with India to make things affordable. Because as you know, in particular, if you look at salary costs, etc., Australia is a much higher cost. I think in the biological space in particular, what we can offer, as I alluded to, is the uniqueness of our environment. So many of the molecules that we discover are endemic or are based on endemic species that only exist in the environment in Australia. And there could be a lot of potential that can lead to global good, including for diseases and inflammatory diseases that are prevalent in India. But I don't think that we can offer this affordability from our end. I think this is really an opportunity where partnerships like the one that we're here for could benefit India in particular, because if the manufacturing happens here, that creates jobs here, that creates lifting up living standards, etc. So I kind of would take that back and say, this is where you come in the partnership.
Yeah, I echo that. But interestingly, you did talk about affordability. I would say, so I'm not a scientist. I'm more general, and I'm more of a facilitator. So I bring the science and the experts together. and make that marriage happen. So, being a matchmaker. What I might say is Queensland and Australia, Queensland, Australia and Australia-India relationship has been long term. It's like our first office in Bangalore was set up in 2004.
20 years ago.
Yeah, so 2004. And you might be happy to know it's not active, but Ipswich, another city, Ipswich, Brisbane, and Hyderabad actually has tripartite relationship. It's a sister city of Queensland. So where it comes, and every time when we looked at India and other Asian markets, Australia will never compete on price. Australia is more quality. But then, as Andrea said, we can bring the project because of the approval process, is the quality, it's the fast response, and also equipped by state government, because we are 3 layers of government. So state government and federal government's pipeline of funding. What happens is they are like 43.5%, we always say it's tax incentive. But federal government has a funding pipeline of 1.5 billion, not as large as Indian budget, contribution to activate the industry. But 1.5 billion in Australian context is a lot of money, and that actually has been committed for biomedical manufacturing. State government where we are from, where Munish is representing, the team representing, they also have a sovereign industry development fund. So these are incentives for any businesses, any pharma or any institute, work with us, bring the project where you need that clinical, first in human clinical trial, you can do it over there. That means that the whole pipeline is quality approved, and then bring the project here. And I think that's where our collaboration can start. So I would say maybe not the price, but the quality. And Australia has significantly proven the capability of being a trusted partner. So you need a partner, and I think that's Asia Pacific landscape over there is all the partnership will start. I'm not sure whether I've answered your question, both of us, but I think that's what
the response is very simple. By we working together, our quality, our scalability, we can reduce the treatment cost down. That is the main motive of this partnership. It may not be today. I was talking to Indian Immunological Executive Managing Director. He said his dream was to reduce cost of a particular vaccine. It was about 1,000 rupees long time ago. I want to reduce to 100 rupees, but today it is available for 8 rupees. Hepatitis B vaccine. It was thousands of rupees before. The Indian Immunological wanted to bring it to 100 rupees, but now today's price is 8 rupees. So these best practices and quality of research and scalability of India putting together, as we can reduce the price. Imagine HIV treatments before, how expensive they were. Now they were very, people don't bother about that. These things do happen, provided our partnership will continue to develop the solutions for those problems. Quickly from lab to market to patients.
Thank you. Unless there's any other question, we can conclude. Thank you all for your time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.